one thing. If you truly want to become successful in anything that you do, it's going to start with you finding your passion for what you like. Finding your passion helps you now, and of course it's like a magnet. Your passion is then going to attract you to what it is you really want to do. So someone won't have to come and tell you what to do or how to do it. You're going to independently choose to do it. As Aristotle once says, choices, not chances, determines your destiny. So if your destiny is to become wealthy, whether monetarily or otherwise, if your destiny is to become a brain surgeon, if your destiny is to become the best attorney exists, or the best teacher, the best nurse, whatever your destiny happens to be, you're going to find your passion. And you're going to begin to start to internalize what does that mean. Because folks, you don't want to become what I call driving without a destination in terms of your journey academically. So if I'm going to go to California, I'm going to leave New York right now. At this point, I'm going to drive to California. I put gas in my car, so I'm just going to drive to California. Where am I going to go? What's the pathway that's going to get me to California? I have my vehicle. I have gas. What is it going to take for me to get to California?
Directions.
Common sense. What is it going to take for me to get to California?
Directions.
Directions. And the directions, we can assume or we can associate the directions to your plan, your educational plan. How many of you have a vision statement for yourself? How many of you even know who you are? How many of you know what you're about? How many of you have a plan for how you're going to get there? It is imperative that you begin to step back and think of yourself in the context of where you are and where you're going. Because if you're going to achieve the goals that you set for yourself, you're going to start with a plan. It is not going to happen because of serendipity. It's not going to happen because someone said to you, well, this is what can happen. It's going to happen because you're going to make it happen. It's going to happen because of that innate desire that's well deep within the girth of your loins is what you're going to bring out to be the best that you could be in order for you to be successful. To be successful requires a commitment to self. To be successful requires you as an individual to understand what your strengths are and to begin to play upon your strengths. To be successful requires you to do a feasibility analysis of yourself, to identify with your weaknesses, so then you can convert those weaknesses into strengths. There are many who came before you who are successful. There are many who are right with you at this point in time who are successful. There are many coming after you who would be successful. But the question is, which group do you belong? And if you belong in a group and you want to be successful, what are you doing in order to make that become a reality? How committed are you to yourself? It's all well and good for me to stand before you and to have this monologue with you. It's all well and good for your professor to come to class every day that you have this class, to go over instructions and work with you. But it's up to you as the agent of change to make that difference for yourself. You have what it takes to do what is needed for yourself. You have to begin to say to yourself, I want this. And my question to you is, how badly do you want it? If you want it, how badly do you want it? It's up to you to make that difference in your life. It's up to you to change the direction of your future. It's up to you to recognize that it's incumbent on you and your effort that's going to get you where you want to be. And if I'm to ask the question, what do you want to be right now? You're going to give me a whole series of different career pathways that you think you want to get into as your future But if I'm to ask you a second question, how many of you have even done any research on the areas or the professions that you want to get into? I would say almost 90% of you would not have an answer for me. Because in principle, it sounds good, you want to do it. In principle. But in application, the application isn't there. Because you haven't applied yourself towards exactly what it is you want to do. And if I'm to ask a question right now, greater than 35% of the individuals in this class would say to me they want to pursue something in the sciences or nursing. Greater than 35% of you. But is that really what you really want to do? Does your skill set equate with wanting to become a nurse? Have you spoken to a nurse or nurses, as the case would be? Have you taken the time out to investigate and see exactly what does a nurse do on his or her daily basis? What area of specialty in nursing would you want to get into? What is the educational requirements? These are all fundamental questions. And I'm using nursing as an example, but in any area of interest. Because, folks, while you thinking to yourself, then that if I don't do my homework, because I want to become a nurse, I'm not going to do my homework, it's going to affect my professor, you are just hindering yourself. You are just indulging yourself in putting up these inhibitors to your success. So the quicker you're able to identify with what you are doing is all about you, your growth, and your development.